All right.
Welcome back.
Episode 4. We've made it 4 weeks.
Thank you for tuning back in.
Yeah.
If you've seen previous episodes, welcome. If not,
Yes.
But this is the Late Game Link podcast.
Late Game Link.
I'm Derek.
The LGL. I'm
Yeah.
Robbie.
yeah. LGL.
Yeah, I don't know. We were figuring that out.
LGLP.
Yeah, we need a good acronym or something, or like a zing.
TBD. But welcome back. This podcast is a weekly podcast where we come together as bros and talk about things that are going on, different nerdy things.
Any and all nerdy things, I think.
Yeah. The net is pretty loose.
Man, it's pretty much everything.
So thank you for tuning in.
It's October right now, so
it is. As of recording, we are approaching mid-October, and
we'll be focusing heavily a lot of this episode on kind of spookier content. You know, different horror games, movies. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
But just like every podcast, we start with kind of how our weeks were and what sort of either current events or things that we did in the last week that we want to share.
Yeah.
So Derek, if you want to start us off.
Well, yeah, my current event is kind of horror related in that it has to do with the abysmal state of X-Men comics in 2025.
He said before this, he was like, I'm just gonna bitch for about a solid 10 minutes. And he's like, just give me that and we'll be good to go.
Because, this came across my desk today, just some news.
So this news came out today.
Today. So we are in the wake of Comic-Con.
Okay.
At Comic-Con, they had panels about upcoming...
Was that this weekend?
Yes.
Comic-Con.
But a lot of information about shifts in the comic landscape, new initiatives, what's coming out next year. Comics usually advertised about 5 months in advance. So we're talking about what's going to be going on in February, March of 2026. And one of the things that was on the table was a Psylocke book. And they didn't give a ton of information, but Psylocke, many of you may know as the, hot ninja assassin psychic from X-Men. A character that I really like.
Or even Marvel Rivals. If
there
you
is
don't have an extensive X-Men history.
Exactly. But a really popular character. And in the past, I know we've talked a little bit about Psylocke, because I think in episode 1 I talked about X-Force, and Psylocke was in that book, but I maybe just need to take a minute to explain what Psylocke is.
I could be messing this up. Did you not, for your top 10 X-Men, have Psylocke as one of them?
Mm-hmm.
Right, I think.
Well, I had one of the Psylocks.
Dual person, yeah.
Betsy Braddock. So basically, just for people, crash course in who Psylocke is and why this book that was announced today is so offensive to me. Psylocke as a character debuted as Betsy Braddock, who is one of my favorite comic book characters. She's a British woman, a white woman, who was not an Asian Japanese assassin in her debut, but joined up with the X-Men, was one of the telepaths on the team. And then there was an event in the 80s where basically all of the X-Men had to go through a transformation, a metamorphosis. They all went through a gate and came out the other side changed in various ways. And some of them lost their powers. Some of them, were just randomly on the other side of the world. And Betsy turned up as a Japanese assassin. This formerly, Caucasian British lady now is a British accent Japanese assassin, which I think is a lot of people's understanding and frame of reference for the character. They later retconned in that she wasn't just given this new body out of thin air. It was a body swap with a Japanese woman whose name is Kanan, and basically Kanan is now in Betsy's original body, but then she died. And this is what's so egregious that I wish Marvel could move on from. Because then for 25 years, Psylocke the character was Betsy in Kanan's body. And that went up to, I have comics that I was buying in 2010, 2015, that was the case. And, we have conversations about representation. You have conversations about what all this is.
So that was before this weekend. That was Psylocke canonically.
No. So in like 2018, they swapped them back.
Oh,
and both characters have now had
yeah.
a solid 7 years or so operating within their own body and building their own lore. Betsy's now Captain Britain. Psylocke is Kanan, but she's carving out a different path,
Kanan,
you know.
Sorry, I thought you were saying
canon. Sorry.
My brain took it the wrong way.
No, I hear that. It's but yeah, no, basically they have been carving out like space for both of these characters. And we knew there was a new Psylocke book coming. They just wrapped another one that was written by a Japanese woman, was sold really well, had good energy. This new book that they are doing is a throwback miniseries featuring Betsy in Kanan's body, and no one wants this. There is no world where we should be publishing this in 2025. I still like a lot of the stories where Betsy is in this woman's body and is like, because you take out, you know, the problematic elements that maybe didn't at the time, maybe there was less consideration for groups, but it's like, I just don't understand why you wouldn't take this as an opportunity to highlight like the character, like not use her body.
They're separate now.
Yeah.
Keep them separate.
And if you are going to keep them united under the Psylocke name, because Psylocke was Betsy's as a title that she then kind of let Kanan have after being in her body for 20 years. And it's like, okay, if you want to keep them connected, we should preserve the dignity of both of those characters, you know? Like, we should let them both be featured and not just use the sexy Japanese body in the way that it has been for 25 years.
Because you can tell if they're, you know, the whole point of, like, the writing is that they want to write something Japanese influenced, right?
Right.
Like they want some sort of, I don't know how stereotypical it gets or, like, slightly racist, but I'm sure they want ninjas and shit.
Well, yeah.
So it's like, why is it a British lady's brain in a Japanese body? But, like, it almost be to the point, just take the British lady over to Japan. Like, you can travel. Like, why does she gotta be in
the body?
Yeah.
Like, why do you have to be in the body? And also, like, why? I don't know.
Come up for a reason why this character would need to go to Japan, and then bam, there you go. You have you can write about Japan, you know, like, you can have the Japanese stuff.
I mean, this is where it gets, like, super frustrating for me personally. It's just, like, clearly this is because people got into X-Men when there was a sexy British Japanese assassin, and they want to appeal to the 90s nostalgia part of this, as opposed to, you know, Kanan has only really been a character in, like, the modern context for, like, less than 10 years. You know, like, she popped up in the 90s and then died in Betsy's body of the legacy virus, which is mutant AIDS. You know, so they took her off the board so early. And I love this character. She's not in my top 10 as I listed last episode, but I wish that we could. I feel like it's really indicative of, like, how we're dealing with minorities in the current X-Men office a little bit. You know, like, we want you to sell books, we want the thing, but, like, I don't know. I wish there was more.
I know you're big on, like, Reddit and forums and stuff. Have you looked around to, like, what other people are saying about it?
This book will be boycotted. No, there's I will say I am kind of amazed because there has been, like, a lot of beef in X-Men online spaces between fans of Betsy and fans of Kanan. Because, you know, Betsy gets smeared sometimes, like, literally colonizing a Japanese woman's body, right? Like, there's problematic, like, implications to that. But Betsy, to be clear, Betsy was also a victim of the body swap, right? Like, I like the character, and I read it as something that she, at a certain point, had to accept because her original body died. So there was nowhere for her brain to go. Like, she was just in this body. But also, I say that with the knowledge that, like, we should never revisit this again. Or if we do, maybe we should have, like, a story about Kanan and Betsy's body and what that was like. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like give more of an openness, but not. I'm going to stop ranting about it. But all in all, Tom Brevoort, enemy of the podcast. He's the current editor of X-Men Comics, and if you're listening to this, you can eat my shorts. So that's it.
I'm telling you, next time we need to find a whiteboard
and just
and I'll just get up as soon as you're like done. I'm like, all right, here we go.
And you know,
another
I do want
of the podcast.
I do want to you know, eventually have a friends of the pod list as well. Maybe we'll figure out some of those today.
And enemies.
Just because I don't want to be too negative.
Yes.
I'll think of some friends as well.
That does remind me now about how, like, I don't know if it's for getting clicks or what, but the podcast sphere, I feel like people love, and I do too as well. I give hot takes every week, but people love to give negative, so I agree. It'd be good to have like some friends of the pod.
Friends of the pod. But yeah, that's my X-Men rant. Thank you for indulging me. I'm sure I'll have more
of course,
to bitch about at some point.
Yeah.
What about you? What's going on this week?
Yeah, so pretty much I had a big kind of line in the sand moment this week. Well, it kind of started off with in a couple days here, the new Pokemon game's coming out.
Pokemon Legenza.
The Legenza. Formerly artist formerly known as Pokemon ZA. And yeah, so I've decided that I'm not going to buy it on launch. And I've kind of given my take on some of these new Pokemon things on previous episodes. After watching some new footage on just like you're just nonstop in this city that like doesn't look very detailed, it all kind of looks empty. I don't know.
I did see that it was all one city, right?
Yeah, it's all one city, and you're just all you do is just like go down like one street of the city, and they're like, yeah, this is like a wild zone, and like you want to find some ground type Pokemon? Here's a courtyard that is just bricks on the outside and then just dirt in the middle, and you just run around in dirt until you find like a Sandshrew or something. I don't know. It did not look, and I saw people had comments on like the YouTube video of like certain trailers, and everybody's like it looks, you know, so like empty and like not very detailed. They're like, the idea of it being in a city is cool, but it can't be, you know, just like, oh, there's a couple benches, oh, there's a stand, and like, oh, there's like the wild zones look very like non-detailed. So I don't know. I don't want to get on a huge rant about it because that's not my main point about bringing it up. But I decided Pokemon ZA, not going to get it. We're going to see how people feel about when it hits launch. But Steam sale also just happened. They had their autumn sale, and I bought a couple games I had on my wish list for like over a year that like were heavily discounted. So I was like, all right, might as well. But my line in the sand this week is, and this includes, it hurts my soul, but Ghost of Yote. I am not buying any games for at least the rest of the year.
Oh, because you were excited for that.
Yeah, I was, but I have too many games in the backlog.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people where, especially when I see the Steam sale games, are like, oh, it's Pokemon, I gotta get the deal. I'm done. I'm done for the rest of the year. I'm playing the games that I want to play and finish. I still have games that I've like halfway through. I have games I've never even started yet. So I need to finish out my games. And I feel like this happens to many people. I don't know about yourself, but you know, I've talked with many friends and others who are like, oh yeah, like the amount of games you've completed in your Steam library compared to how many you own is a crazy ratio. It doesn't help that you can pick up a game for like $2 sometimes.
Sometimes,
like,
yeah.
You know, like for example, they had the, I was never a big Xbox kid. I've said that before, PlayStation guy, but I do have a lot of respect for a lot of Xbox titles. And I would go to friends' houses all the time who had Xboxes, and we'd play like couch co-op. So like the Halo series, like I will never take anything away from the Halo series. Love Halo. I would always play at my friends' houses.
I'll take some things away from the Halo series. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just being funny.
But they had them like the whole collection online for like $10. So it's like you get like 4 games or something for $10. So I was like, all right, like,
yeah, why not?
That's one of those things where like I can pick that up. The one game I think I legitimately got for like $2 that was discounted from like $15 to like $2. So I was like, all right, I might as well. But I'm amassing too many games. I have too many games. Yeah. I have too many devices. Like I need to start cranking some of these out. So I'm not buying anymore. And I know other people have those same feelings. I know people do the same thing. So this week I decided at least until the end of the year, it might even continue into the year more. I don't know. But I'm not buying anymore, and I need to complete at least, I should set a goal, like 5 games.
Yeah, I think 5's reasonable.
You know, before I get any more. So,
just on the note of Pokemon Legenza, I just feel like there's it's so surprising, like, as this game, I'm curious to see if it's going to get, like, panned, or if it'll be, like what the reception will be, because even, like, being limited to one city, right, even if there are different locales within the city, I feel like they would really have to deliver on that, because Pokemon as a franchise, across the different games that they've released, I feel like you've been able to explore a region.
Yep.
Like, there's always been a region or something larger, and I know that this is based in an established region and city, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I've looked at, like, again, some people's comments on, like, Reddit or YouTube. There definitely seems to be a subset of people that have, like, really enjoyed these new games. So, like, the Legends game.
Yeah.
Legends Arceus. That some people really liked it. I'm part of the people that did not. And again, like, some of the mechanics were kind of cool. Well, the only mechanic I think was the you can run around a region and find Pokemon, like, in the wild and catch them that way. You can kind of, like, sneak and, like, you know, that is cool, right? But I don't know. I'd like to hear anybody's comments, maybe about what, if you are one of those people that have been liking the newer games. Again, I've gone on record to say I liked Sword and Shield. That had more positive for me than negative. But Scarlet and Violet, Legends Arceus, those I think more negatives for me than positives. So if you're one of those people listening that are into this, I would love to hear your take on, you know, what makes you like these new games, and maybe that'll help shed some light into my scenario. But yeah, I think ZA, I don't know. I've said it before. Maybe I should just stick with, like, ROM hacks and older games, and I don't know. We'll see. I've been thinking about, it's just so expensive, so maybe I'll just get, again, like, a ROM of it. But the Heart Gold, Soul Silver, I've been thinking, the fact that I haven't played that from beginning to end is crazy, especially because Gen 2 is my favorite. Because I'll just rip Crystal.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I'll just rip the Game Boy games. I need to play that, but
I think in terms of the timeline of development of those games, I can't remember if I've said this before, but I feel like Heart Gold and Soul Silver really was, like, the peak, was, like, the zenith a little bit for me of, like, what the potential of this was. I also love 2D. I think Pokemon low-key, I mean, they never would return to 2D, so I feel comfortable saying, like, you should return to 2D. You know, it'll never happen. But I feel like that was, like, such a that game especially, they found a really nice balance, and they really maximized certain 3D elements and shit like that. Yeah. So
no, I think we said this maybe on episode 1. I don't know which one it was. Eventually, we're gonna have so many episodes now where we're not gonna remember which one. But I think it was episode 1 where I said they've had very good spin-off games, right? Which this is the first time I would consider Legends Arceus, and maybe this game ZA is kind of like a spin-off. I would not say it's like how, like, Scarlet and Violet was the new gen, right?
Right. It's not mainline.
Yes, and they kind of market it as mainline, but I don't know. I would consider, like, Legends Arceus as, like, a spin-off. Besides the new spin-offs, some of those older spin-offs we talked about are, like, highly received highly well, very well. And if they were to make a spin-off game, I'm not asking for a mainline Pokemon game, just make a spin-off one in 2D. I think that would be, I think that would go crazy. And it's very easy to do. I mean, you have people making their own. Like, I see all the time. There's even a, what's that software called? It's, I even downloaded it because I thought about making my own Pokemon game. I should have it on there. Maybe not. Oh, yeah, Game Maker Studio 2. They have a package where it takes all of the art from whatever gen, like, game you want. So, like, Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3. And you can make your own map. Like, you can make your own Pokemon game. I mean,
wow.
You know, you got to put a lot of effort towards it. It's not just, like, gonna, you know, snap your finger.
Out,
but, you know, you have to place every block and everything. And you have to, like, write, like, what every NPC is going to say. And, like, so I think there's some low-level coding involved, too. But, I mean, it's not hard. Like, for Nintendo or Game Freak to do something like that and even come up with a new animation style, but in 2D, and make a Pokemon game in 2D now in I guess it would be 2026 or 2027. I think that would be incredible.
Well, listen, don't say that too loud because Nintendo apparently is litigious, right? Like I'm sure they're not okay with that.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, I think you're allowed to. You could make whatever you want, right? But it's making your own Pokemon game and then trying to like sell it. I think is bad, So I don't know, but I'm not making my own Pokemon game currently, but I have downloaded other people's games.
Yeah.
So, also I think if you don't receive money for it, I think that's another thing. Like if you just give it away for free, you don't have to. You can maybe use the Pokemon game. I don't know. I don't know how that all that works. So. And we probably know some of that because we're now doing a podcast. Yeah. Don't sue us if you're listening. But yeah, I don't know. That's something I wanted to bring up. The new Pokemon game I don't think it's going to hit like I would want it to hit.
Yeah.
And this might just be a good time to crank out some games. And then maybe in the new year, I'll treat myself, get Ghost of Yotei. Yeah. And then we'll go from there. So I don't know. I'm curious to see what people listening, if you like the new Pokemon games, let me know. Other than that, October, kind of getting into the what's it called, the holiday spirit, I guess. I wanted to bring up my wife and my sister-in-law this weekend watched Scooby Doo and the Witch's Ghost.
Yeah.
Featuring the Hex Girls, because they are, carrying the social media presence, I feel like, for that game.
I was going to say, and they factor in very heavily to the plot. It's like kind of their movie.
They were also a slight sexual awakening for me as a young person.
I love that being on the record, Robbie.
Yes. That will always go on the record for me. The Hex Girls were, oh man, I love the Hex Girls. But so yeah, I just wanted to bring that up, how that's one of those movies that kind of make me feel nostalgic. It's that feeling where you watch some sort of themed, like either a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie or something like that, or even a movie that's like you always watch in the summertime or the winter, whatever it is. It makes you feel nostalgic. It makes you feel like, ooh, it is October. Yeah. It's getting colder. The leaves are falling. That movie, for me, I felt that this weekend when we watched that. I was like, ooh, this is like, it's that time of the year again. And I kind of wanted to shout out to that era of Scooby Doo movies. Yeah. Specifically. I was watching a TikTok. I do not know who made it or whatever it was, but I'll summarize very shortly here. That they had a very good point that, so like Scooby Doo and the Witch's Ghost, Scooby Doo and I think it's called Zombie Island. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've seen that one. Yes. That has like the crazy cat ladies and like zombie ladies and stuff. That's a great movie.
I probably know every movie you're about to list.
Cyber Chase, that was and the Alien one. Mm-hmm. I forget that one. I don't remember the name, but so like those are the four that I remember the most. But it was that era of Scooby Doo where, for decades it was a man behind the mask, right? And it's always like they try to find out, like, the whole thing of Scooby-Doo was that they were these smart detectives. Mm-hmm. And they figured out, even though people thought there were supernatural things going on, they found the man behind the mask and, like, it's not they, it's Velma. Let's be real. Every once in a while, they'll be like, oh, Fred's an idiot, but he figured it out, and Velma didn't. But for the most part, it's Velma. But they figure out what's going on. But these movies was like a huge era where it was real. Mm-hmm. Like what is going on and what they're facing in these movies is an actual supernatural event, right? So we have the Witch's Ghost, we have zombies, we have the Cyber Chase. It's like a
killer virus
thing. The aliens have aliens in it. So I don't know. I think a lot of people our age would agree that's like peak Scooby Doo.
I will say too. I think my favorite is hands down the Cyber one.
Cyber Chase, yeah.
Hands down my favorite, yeah. And I think because even at the time, it felt really big because from what I remember, it was extremely meta. Like the video game was based on the gang. And the video game was featuring all of these monsters and things that they've debunked and people they've unmasked. At the end of every level, there was like a Scooby snack that they had to get in order to move on to the next thing. And like, even then, I just feel like kids, again, we don't give enough credit a lot of the time to kids and like their appreciation for stuff like that. But there was like a really cool meta aspect to that. And I was also going to ask, I mean, like, do you feel like this, like, at all? Because, like, I agree these movies, like, hit, like, a point in nostalgia in my brain that, like, I don't often revisit. Or, like, it's really comforting to me. Yeah. But do you feel like this translates in general to, like, a Scooby Doo? Like, do you like Scooby Doo? Is the question. Because, like, particularly for me, I don't know that I would say that I'm a big Scooby Doo person, but these movies are different.
Yeah, I would say in general, growing up, I did like Scooby Doo. I think as like a very young kid, like the cartoons from, like, what, the 70s, I guess?
Yeah.
Like, whatever those, you know that one I'm talking about with the intro with, like, that haunted mansion in the back? It's, like, that's old as shit, honestly. You know, I watched some of that. I wouldn't say, like, I never had like a Scooby-Doo, like, stuffed animal. I never had, like, I did get two when I was a kid. Every year, we would go to, like, Kmart or, like, you know, some local store, and we would get, like, one little ornament every year. So, like, when I was 1, I mean, my mom picked it out for me. But then once I hit the age of, like, 4 or 5, I could, like, actually be like, I want that one. Probably even before that. I did have 1 or 2 years. I did have a Scooby-Doo ornament. So I would say in general I was and am a Scooby-Doo fan.
Yeah.
I like the live action ones.
Yeah.
Like the Mr. Bean was the villain who's like Scrappy in like a Mr. Bean tech suit.
Oh, yeah.
That, like the something Island, like Spooky Island, I think it is what it's called.
Oh, yeah.
Scooby-Doo and Spooky Island or whatever. That is a bop of a movie.
And Sarah Michelle Gellar as Daphne.
Yes.
Iconic.
They also made... If that could have also been a sexual awakening for anybody, no matter what kind of human you like. That everybody was good looking.
I mean, movie. Honestly, those movies were weirdly. I mean, definitely like pushing the boundary in terms of like. You know, I remember, first of all, there was a body swap.
Yes, they put
Fred looking at Daphne's boobs, like, in her body.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I remember Shaggy having boobs at some point. Like, there was a lot of really crazy body stuff going on.
He took some sort of... I think that one was the other live-action one. Mm-hmm. And he, like... That was where... You know the actor Seth Green?
Yeah.
He's the villain in that one. And he's some sort of, like, scientist-type guy or tech guy or something. I forget. But Shaggy gets some sort of, like untested like syrup or something. I don't know. Like something that the evil guy made to like make these real life monsters, and he's kind of like in a refrigerator with this like toxic like substance, and that's like what was like making him like have more womanly features.
I remember there was a sexy Velma moment in that movie. I think
that was in Spooky Island. Yeah, probably in both, honestly. But I know the Spooky Island one was where they had. Oh no, the Seth Green one. You're correct. Mm-hmm. She came in. She had like seduce. She had to seduce him. Yeah. Yup.
So good. Yep. Oh, so good.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I would to answer your question. Yes, I was a Scooby Doo fan.
I guess in a way, it kind of like Scooby Doo for people our age. I don't know what it is for kids today. I feel like they're all about the. I don't know. Like
Scooby-Doo doesn't change frames fast enough for kids.
You're all watching AI. I don't know. You're on YouTube Kids watching Elsa do something. I don't know. But no, yeah, I think Scooby-Doo permeated culture at that time in a way that, like, I mean, I would be shocked if someone was like, I have zero opinion or fondness for anything Scooby-Doo. Like, that was around our age, right?
Yeah, that would be shocking.
I feel like it is, whether you were attached to the live action or these movies especially,
these hit
really hit.
Like you said, even if you weren't a big Scooby-Doo fan, I feel like that got people to watch them. And what were they? I think they were airing on like Cartoon Network.
Oh,
is that what it was? Yeah,
like all the time. I see, and that's why nobody watches it. Nope. If it's not on Netflix, and even then, right? You have a million and one other options. Yeah. So I think just having that available all the time via turning on Cartoon Network was a big part of it.
Oh yeah, yep. So, but yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. That felt nostalgic. It made me feel like it's October. It made me feel like it's fall time. Well, that one especially because it's like it's set in the fall time in like Salem, Massachusetts, without saying Salem, Massachusetts. It's like a knockoff Salem, and they even speak about the witch trials in Salem. So it feels very nostalgic and fall time for me. So I don't know. That was really nice. I just thought that was something to bring up. I need to give those movies credit for they kept what was good about Scooby Doo, but then they're like, let's make it real. Like, let's make it a little supernatural. Enough for as a kid, you're like, ooh, like that's a little spooky. Like,
exactly.
That's a real zombie, you know? Like that's like those cat ladies in Zombie Island. I would
scary.
Like, those were a little scary. As like a small child, I was like, ooh, like that, you know? That's yeah. So I guess talking about the nostalgia of everything, and you know, it's October, and you know, everybody likes to get into. Maybe you're not a fall person, but even certain parts of the year, I'm sure there's something that makes you nostalgic. I think this is a prompt that Derek wanted to talk about, so I'll let you start. What was something for you in childhood that was a big introduction into horror, and maybe not just an introduction, but in general, what was your, you know, what am I looking for here? Like your connection or your how much you liked the horror genre, what you interacted with, and like kind of what that means to you. So
I mean, when I was growing up, I feel like I was less automatically like into horror than my younger brother was, and we were too young to be watching any of this stuff. But like he had like, and I'm gonna air you out for a little bit, but he had like a real fixation on like the Saw franchise. When we were kids, and I watched them all with him because, you know, I'm not no wuss. Yeah. But like we were like around 10 watching those movies, and that was like crazy. I mean, like really intrigued by the concept of those movies, because also I'm not going to defend those movies creatively per se, but I feel like there was substance and genuinely horrifying.
It's
genuinely horrifying things going on. I don't know if you remember the Saw 2. Saw 2 is our favorite. When they tell her to find like a cure for this poisonous in other bodies in a needle stack, and then one guy just pushes her into the pit of needles. Listen, crazy, horrible nonsense. Loved Saw when I was a kid. What's it called? My big one, I would say, and it's a basic answer. So you
even as a kid, sorry to interrupt, it's but you could handle these though. Like it didn't freak you out. Like you weren't a kid who'd be like shutting their eyes at a horror movie sort of thing. Or?
I didn't like to. I would cover my eyes, but like I wanted to see it through. I think I was a completionist even then a little bit about some of this stuff like this, and I wanted to see how the story ended. So like my big horror introduction, and I think like when I think about like why I started to like horror movies, was The Ring, which feels like such a basic answer, but loved The Ring. I feel like The Ring really activated me. You know, it's you watch the VHS tape and you die in 7 days.
Yep. Yeah. The lady crawls out of the TV.
Yeah, and to be clear, I know
isn't there a part where she's like up in the closet? Like there's a maybe isn't there a Ring 2?
There is a Ring 2.
I remember watching one of them. I'm almost positive it was one of the Ring movies where she is like the woman who crawls out of the TV is like up in their like closet. Like they like open their closet, you don't realize it right away, but then you see her up there. She's just like watching them.
I'm gonna be honest, I saw The Ring 2 like a couple times in childhood. It was not exciting to me. I feel like The Ring 1, especially because it ends. It doesn't complete the story, right? Like I don't know if you remember how The Ring. Yeah. I mean, spoiler alert for The Ring, I guess. but like the movie ends with her thinking that she let, you know, like her 7 days are up. The main character, Samara, the little girl, like she laid her spirit to rest or something, and she's like, "We're good. Like me and my son who watched it 3 days after me, and my boyfriend who watched it a day after me." We're not going to be killed by Samara. And then Samara kills her boyfriend. And so there's this horror, like my son is going to die in 2 days, and that's how the movie ends. And I just feel like that contributes so much to what makes the movie good. And I don't think we needed a Ring 2. I understand why we did, because it was really acclaimed. And I know also that it's based on a Japanese movie, I believe called Ringu.
That's the one I saw then.
I never saw I never saw that, to be honest.
Well, I'll say I have seen The Ring. At least I have seen that. But it might be the Japanese one that I saw that with her up in the closet. Now that I think about it, because the people were Japanese in the movie.
So it had to have been.
Okay, all right.
I have heard that one's like scarier. Than
it was
The
freaky.
Ring, so.
Yeah, I'm telling you that I can remember that scene in the closet.
I mean, my brother and I also would just watch like the most like fucked up like. I mean,
it was that age of the internet.
It was. You ever hear of there's a Japanese movie called oh my god. I have such a funny, again, we're talking about horror. But like it's called Audition, and it's about this, I think it's about a girl, like it's a Japanese movie. It's about this girl who's trying to like audition to be this guy's like woman, but she just ends up like capturing and drugging him, and like I mean like it's nasty, but like he like cutting all his limbs off and keeping him as like a slave, essentially. It's like really fucking, it's like horror for horror's sake. We watched like Hostel. Do you know what Hostel is?
Hostel? No.
No?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, Hostel I almost would recommend as like a
I'll say you'll realize why once I talk about my childhood.
Hostel they were big movies in like the mid 2000s, I believe, produced in America. They might have been like unrated though, but it was about Americans going to travel in Europe, like in Germany or something, and I mean they get kidnapped because they're stupid Americans and brought to a place where like rich people pay like millions of dollars to torture and kill human beings. And so they like wake up and they're in this place where like, I mean, again, like rich people just in rooms with people tied up and they can just kill them. And again, this is the shit that I was watching way too young. But I will say on the realm of just like maybe a lighter horror thing, and it's not really horror, more mainstream, but like I loved the Mummy franchise as a child.
Yes.
Like the Mummy franchise, I feel like it's not horror, but it does kind of fit in like a Halloween area of my brain a little bit because mummies and all that. But also, I feel like they were just objectively really well produced adventure movies. Maybe I have to rewatch and reflect on, you know, not to be the friend that's whatever, but like how well has all this aged culturally? But I just had so much fondness for the adventure and all that. Like that was really, really cool.
Oh yeah. So, I don't know. Have we talked about the Mummy at all?
I don't think we've ever talked about the Mummy.
I'm big into them. Like I'll watch the first like two Mummy, like the Mummy and the Mummy Returns. Like I'll watch each of those at least once a year. I've already had Theodora watch like all of them. I did not finish like the new ones with like Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
that just looked like weird as shit.
Also, listen, I know I said it
doesn't have the same feel as like Brendan Fraser and all that. You know?
Tom Cruise, enemy of the pod, but
throw it on, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no, who plays the lady lead in The Mummy before they recast her for the third one?
I forget, but she was hot.
Hall of Fame MILF.
She was hot, yeah.
Love her. And in general, like I said, just love the vibe that those movies are able to attain. The first and second one specifically.
Yeah. No, that's a good pull.
And my last thing, just in terms of what I brought, I never really was into horror games. I would say the closest I ever really got to that, and it was when I was younger, was like BioShock 1 and 2, which I would almost put in a horror category. I would put in a horror category because
it feels dark.
Yeah. The third one really shifts and inverts that, but like I would say the first two are like my main experience playing like horror video games. So that's kind of my frame of reference, I guess, for childhood. What about you? I
did want to show you. This is the photo of the girl in the closet. And, like, she, like, opens a closet and, like, finds this, like, woman in her closet or girl. I guess it also maybe happened.
It did happen, yeah.
This is, I guess, it's called every Ringu movie? Ringu, I guess.
Yeah,
is
to be called.
Mm-hmm. I saw that, and that freaked me out. I don't know why. Like, when they show her face and everything. So that's freaky. No, that's a good pool. I mean, even though it's a very common pool, I think it's a household name for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for myself, what age do you think you were watching Saw?
Like 10.
Oh, see, there's no way I would have made it through that. Like,
yeah.
I was super scared as a kid when it came to like horror stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I have written here, and this is kind of a crazy pool that I completely forgot about. I know they just made a new show, and I try to watch a couple episodes with Ross from Friends. Doesn't feel that good of a show, but who knows? People might like it. Goosebumps.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was big into I had the books. So not the books as in like the whole catalog, but I had a couple of the books.
Mm-hmm.
They had like a show. That to me, the Goosebumps show, because they would air that on like either Disney or Nickelodeon or something.
Yeah.
During October, it'd be like on Thursdays every day at like 7 or something. Me and my sister would watch that growing up, and that to me, Goosebumps as a child, that feels like Halloween to me specifically.
Yeah.
Like that dun 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 dun, like that, like
The
and there's
soundtrack is iconic.
There's like wind rushing, and there's like leaves on the house that it's going into. That whole thing feels very Halloween to me. But you can see how that is like very palatable. Mm-hmm. Like that's something that isn't like necessarily scary. It's like spooky themed. Like also like Scooby Doo. It's not really scary, but it's for children. Then I will never forget I need to look this up. What year did The Conjuring come out? Because that set me back years.
Like you were freaked out by The Conjuring.
Oh, yes. The AI did not give me that. No, I don't want There's a new one?
Yeah.
It just came out.
Mm-hmm.
September 5th.
Mm-hmm.
The day of my wedding. That's great.
There you go.
That's great. No. I want the original. So I gotta watch that, I guess.
I will say, the Conjuring movies in general, and, having explained that I was watching, like, movies about Americans getting sliced in half by Germans when I was way too young, I feel like the Conjuring movies just never scared me. Like, I feel like I appreciate aspects of them as, like, and also it's like Blumhouse, right? Which is, like, they have made horror what they do, you know?
Yep.
And, like, clearly have found a lot of success via that, but I feel like I was never, like, the most freaked by any of those that I've seen. I also can't remember, like, which ones I've seen or when, so.
Yeah. Okay, so it came out summer of 2013. Mm-hmm. So I was...
graduating high school?
17, 16?
Mm-hmm.
17? 17. So yeah, even as a 17-year-old, that freaked me out. That was like my big step. Before that, I would never watch horror stuff. Yeah. Like I would get very anxious, like the suspense building up to like some big like scare or something. Mm-hmm. This also, we both came from growing up in a Catholic sphere, and then have since heavily gone away from that. But during that time, I still had residual like fear of like demons. Like that was something as a kid that was instilled to me as like a very scary
they
thing.
bake it in.
Yeah, it was baked. It was well done.
Mm-hmm.
And so that like at that time, like for example, watching the movie like Scream or something, or like seeing one of those other movies when I was 17, I could easily handle. Like even Saw, I remember seeing Saw before The Conjuring. I probably saw that when I was like 15, 16, something like that. And, it's definitely gnarly. It's like, ooh, like that's, like very bloody and stuff. But, like, it didn't, like, scare me. Any sort of, like, rational fear someone could have of, like, being killed or being kidnapped in Europe or something that could theoretically happen to you never freaked me out. It was the stuff you had no control over, a.k.a. a demon's just going to possess you and there's nothing you can do and you're going to die.
Yeah.
Like, that freaked me out. And The Conjuring, like... I will never forget. I went and saw that in theaters with friends, and I was toast after that. I didn't sleep for like 2 days. So,
damn.
Yeah, but I have gone a lot. I mean, that kind of stuff now I can watch. It still, gives me a little like jump scares still get me.
Yeah.
Like I'll never forget what's it called. I think, and I'm sure anybody listening who's watched this would agree. One of the like worst I've ever been gotten by a jump scare. And this was what? We were still in college, like end of college. It was Haunting of Hill House. Mm-hmm. That scene, have you watched that?
I've never watched it, but I know
that's a really good series. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. There's a scene. Do you want me to ruin it? Or not?
Just ruin it.
Okay.
Just ruin it.
Because it is like the scene that got everybody. Mm-hmm. And they were releasing. I think they were releasing like weekly episodes, sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
So that week, everybody was like, "Oh my fucking god!" That got me. There's a scene in a car where they're driving in a car, and it's like they did it perfectly, where you're not like you are fully your guards down. Mm-hmm. Right, you do not think a jump is gonna come, and it does. And that I'm telling you, I like let out an audible like scream. Like I was like, ah! Like it like got me. Like very, very good. It got me. It was and then
there's art to jump scare. It's like like there's a tempo you have to hit to really achieve like a successful jump scare. And
that scene was like perfect. Mm-hmm. And so I have liked horror things as I got older. Now I'm at the point where, again, I think I get the best of both worlds. Like I'm not really freaked out by horror movies anymore, but I still am like very susceptible to jump scares. Yeah. So it's almost like kind of like a thrill thing for me. Mm-hmm. I'm not ironclad like you over there and just like straight face like and just handle it all.
Hey, I ain't ironclad. I will say, I think what it is like it like because I've been disturbed by movies. I would say that I've watched in recent years. Like a movie really disturbed me and did stick with me. And I don't know if it's like a good movie. Like I don't know if I'm really recommending it, but like like It Follows. It Follows. It's about like a killer STD kind of is the plot line. No.
Oh, okay. No.
So basically, this girl is like dating this guy. They're having like a really good time, and they have sex in his car. It came out in like 2014 also. So again, I'm not spoiling anything here.
Yeah.
This is really just gonna be premise. But they have sex in his car, and she wakes up after having sex with him, and she's like, they're in a parking garage, like on the second floor, and he's like, "So I gave this to you, just so you know. Like I'm sorry, but like I had to give it to someone, and just you're gonna be you're gonna be chased. You just have to just pass it on to someone else and save yourself, basically." But basically, so then the whole
what? That's crazy.
And then drives away. But
isn't that like a form of rape, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Well, that's part of what's going on here.
Jesus Christ.
But basically, then the rest of the movie, I think. Yeah.
There we go.
You got it.
There we go.
The rest of the movie, this girl, and no one else can see this thing. It takes the form sometimes of a friend, sometimes of someone you don't recognize, sometimes of something almost monstrous. But it is walking toward her just at this pace. And so she has to evade this thing. She drives. She gets with her friends. They drive to a new town. But it follows, and it's following, and the only way she can get rid of it is by having sex with someone and passing it.
So it's like I get $1 million, but if a snail touches you, you'll die scenario.
But with no upside.
Rape version.
No upside. And it is. I mean, it really stuck with me because I mean, it's horrible and crazy, and then you also learn via this thing. Like, I mean, once it catches you, it goes to the person who gave it to you. So there's kind of this unending chain of people who have passed this thing on to other people. And it's honestly, like I said, a movie that really stuck with me. Man. And again, not necessarily gory. I mean, you see somebody, I mean, this thing really fucks you up when it catches you. But, it's not necessarily like bloody or scary. It just is, it's disturbing. And the concept of, again, you're going on a date with this guy and things seem really good. I mean, when you watch the beginning of the movie, he's like looking over his shoulder, like while they're on these dates, because he's looking for it.
Like, like, we got to get this.
And now let's seal the deal. And then I'm going to, leave you to your new
That's crazy
STD killer.
Yeah, that's freaky for sure.
So again, love horror. I really have, fondness for, the genre
But yeah, so I did want to get into, and then this is like my most recent kind of like in the last 5 to 10 years sort of indulgence of horror is video games. I think you said you haven't really played any horror video games.
Not a ton. Alan Wake.
Okay,
I played
that's like I haven't played it, but I know it's like
sort of horror, sort of.
Yep. Like there's some jump scares in it, right? Yeah. So, and I actually used to stream myself playing horror games. Not all the time, but like every once in a while. And again, like I said, I'm very susceptible to like jump scares and stuff like that, and I definitely will kind of like I should get like a heartbeat monitor on my arm while I play some of these games, because I'm telling you, I can only play for like an hour and a half max. Some of these games I'm about to talk about, because it is freaky. It really is. It constantly is like getting you, and you're very immersive, because there's one thing watching a movie versus like, it sounds weird. There's got to be a psychological like reasoning behind this.
Yeah.
But you controlling the person in the game, right? So it's almost as if you were watching a movie but controlling the person and having them walk and make decisions. Like, it's like infinitely scarier. Because so in a lot of these games, you'll start to get chased by whatever is, the bad guy, the evil thing. And you have to like run from it and get to a safe spot, right? And hide. And especially now I'm like better with it since I've done it a bunch of times. But the first couple of years of playing some of these games, man, it is like thrilling, like having like something you feel like you're being chased, even though you're just sitting in your living room and everything's fine.
Yeah.
And so my recommendation would be the Outlast series. The first one came out, this came out like years ago, probably like 10 years ago or something, or 11, 12 years ago. So it came out a while back. So there's two games. There's Outlast 1 and Outlast 2. And there is a DLC for the first one. So I'll briefly talk about all three. Because the DLC is like
its own thing.
Yeah, and you'll see how it connects. It is definitely worth... Sometimes DLCs like piss me off because they're not necessarily worth it. Or it's... You know how DLC can be very much of just like the same thing of the game, just a little bit more content. It's like, okay, that was kind of like redundant. But... And then there's also a multiplayer Outlast game, which I think, what's it, Dead by Daylight, I think it's called. I think it's kind of like riding the wave of those type of games.
Gotcha.
There's like a bad guy, then there's people trying to get away from the bad guy. So I've never been big into those games, but I do have it on I think it's called like the Outlast Trials, I think. It's some sort of social, like 4 people in a horror game trying to like survive type thing. So it looks kind of cool. Never played it, but I'm going to specifically recommend Outlast 1 and its DLC and number 2. So the first one, it starts off with you are a reporter who has been given a tip from somebody working at a asylum that there is like really bad stuff going on, and you need to come and get evidence and like blow the case wide open. And again, it's like the whistleblower who gave this information, this reporter, should have been way more detailed, because like this reporter gets fucked over. It is not just bad, it is like horrific, right? That's the whole point of a horror movie. And so it starts, you are the reporter and you are going to this asylum to try to talk to people, try to get evidence, whatever it is, right, of like some wrongdoings in this place. And is it fucked up to say insane asylum?
Yeah, that's what they were called at the time.
Yeah, because that's like, I think like somewhere in it it's called, but like I feel like just asylum is probably the word.
Yeah.
Yeah, no? All right, yeah, so an asylum, so naturally, it's like all kind of eerie at first, right? But then you hit a point where you're like, oh fuck, I'm trapped, right? So it turns into I'm trying to get evidence and then leave to how am I going to get out of here? And now you're the reporter trying to escape the asylum. And it brings a whole new element to it, right? And Would you want me to ruin it? Because I can ruin it right now.
I feel like
if this would make people wanna, because I think the ending of this game is top 3 ending of, like, story wise. I think I've ever like.
Well, I was planning on spoiling my recommendation. So if you spoil yours, you know what I mean?
Because this is something I think would be fun for us to stream.
Yeah.
Playing together, like a little like couch co-op type thing. I guess only one of I would have you control, and then, like we just watch together. But I will ruin it because, again, this came out forever ago. So,
okay. So turn the video off if you really don't want to hear it.
If you don't want to hear it, but you've probably seen it.
Or skip ahead like 5 minutes, you know?
So you're a reporter, you come, you think things are off, you start to meet people that like work at this place, and then pretty soon you're trapped. And there are these like freaky fucking like monstrosities of like, there's this like doctor there that like makes like human meat, like creepy creatures, monsters.
I was gonna ask what is in here with us that we're trying to evade. And it is...
So essentially this asylum is people getting tested on. And it's which this one I haven't played in so long, been years, that I might not get perfect details correct. But these people are 100% being tested on. It also, there's like this cool, like almost religious aspect to it. So not only is there a priest, but there's like a church and a priest on site that like is supposed to like help, like I think in any asylum in the world, like that's like beneficial to have people like, be able to be religiously free and like pray and like whatever it is, if that helps them mentally. So it like makes sense that would normally be in like some sort of facility, but here it's like super fucked. And there ends up being a patient that they're doing like mind like tests on. That's like hooked up to this crazy machine that you eventually like destroy at the very end. But they can move their essence almost like in physical space. So it's like their mind moving. It almost looks like a ghost, but the ghost can like, it has like powers, and like it's something that they're trying to harness, not like they don't want anybody to know about. And but they have to keep that patient alive in this machine for this like thing to like kind of be under control or like suppressed or whatever it is. But that ghostly thing you hear throughout the whole game, it's almost like a religious figure for these insane people in this asylum. And so you're actively trying to escape while being given more information about this patient, like who's like the key to it all. And you're like, to key to what? And then you have all these people like just like scratching their eyes out and talking about like the wisp, or they have a name for it, that thing that comes through. And then you see it a couple times at one point, and then it kind of all comes together at the end. You meet the doctor, the freaky surgeon doctor at one point. That's scary as hell. There's this part where you finally get to like a door. And you're like, oh my God, I can get out. Like, I can at least get outside. And then you're trying to get outside. And right before you're like 10 feet from the door, and this freaky fucking doctor goes, where are you going? And he gets you. And he straps you into a wheelchair. And the way they do the camera, like it truly is.
Because it's like POV, right?
Yes,
it's like
POV.
Person.
All you can do is you have a camera that you're trying to get evidence with. You need batteries that you collect from around, like, while you're traveling around. You can pop in the camera and it'll give it like a light, right? Like a camera light. But that'll also alert like things if they see a light, so you have to strategically use the light. You also sometimes need the light to like see, because sometimes it's just pitch dark. Like you could just be walking anywhere.
Yeah.
And so there's a big balance of like, when do I use the light and when do I not? If you pick harder difficulties, there's less batteries that you find. So all you can do is run, look at things with the camera, and use the light, and that's it. That's all you can do. So it's very much like you are just like in a movie, and you're just the person, right? It's like an experience. And yeah, so you get strapped to this wheelchair, and you can see the front door of the place, and he's just pulling you back. He's just pulling you back into an elevator, and then you see the door, like your freedom, and you see the elevator close, and you go down the outside. Like there's certain parts to these games. It's very like cinematic, and you know they do that very well, and it makes it even spookier.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, at the very end, you get to this like patient who's like hooked up to this machine. You finally like destroy the machine. And I'm pretty sure it like lets this like his mind freaky ghostly powered thing, like it kind of just like frees it. And it therefore it like likes you. Like it doesn't kill you. It could if it wanted to when it gets released, but it doesn't, because I think like it recognized that you're the one that like, because it's a moment where you realize like this is so fucked that they have this guy like in this machine. It's like just torture 24/7.
Yeah.
And, like we gotta get him out of here. So it doesn't kill you, but you get very, very wounded. And it's like super underground. It's almost like an army like facility, which I think it is. I think it's like somehow connected to some secret military testing. And you have all the evidence now. You freed the guy. Pretty much this thing has now like been freed and could possibly like, you think like, okay, I know the way out. I've defeated pretty much all the big monsters that could kill me right now. Like this thing's like somewhat got my back, right? Or like, he's not going to kill me. Like this is the time to get out. But you like break your one leg, like you're beat up. And the very end of this movie, and this is one of those things I always say is like top 3 ending to a video game for me. And again, because this game is heavily just like a movie. It really is.
Yeah.
It's like very story driven. So the story has to be good. And I feel like I'm like this person, right? Like I feel very invested into this. And you are crawling your way out of this like bunker, like underneath the property. And I'm telling you, you know your way out. You got it all. You did your job. And you finally get to like a good bit out of the bunker, right? You're not like quite like away yet, but you are you're getting to the point where there's like music playing in the background. It's like very like kind of like, not serene, but like it's like exciting. It's like what's gonna happen next? Like I'm finally gonna get out. Doors burst open, and it's like the military, and they've been given, because I guess this thing is like loose, right?
It's a loose, dangerous thing.
Like spirit monster thing. I really need to go back and get exactly what because there's a name for it, and like kind of like the sci-fi tech behind this thing. But they've been given the kill anything on sight order.
Makes sense.
They burst this door open. You're all fucked up. At one point you're like crawling, and then they burst the door open, and you have your camera and you put your hand. And you're like wait, and they're like boom, and they just kill you. They straight up kill you, and your last things that you see alive as this character is that thing come and start just killing the military people.
Oh,
and
wow.
that is the last thing you see, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So like you never leak it. And it gives that like you said before about the Ring, where it's like it lets you think after the fact, right? And that's kind of eerie in its sense, where okay, so what happens with that thing? Does it get out? Does my information that I ever recorded on this camera, will this camera get out? Like will I like have served a purpose?
Yeah.
Or was it all for nothing, right? So it was like, I remember sitting at the TV, I'm like, no! Like, I was like, you gotta be shit. Like, I was so invested into it, right?
I feel like that's such a big part of horror, though, like, is like, again, giving you an ending to think about beyond the fact, because that's why it sticks with you, because there are many directions that could go.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
I love that.
So, yeah, it's such a cool story. And then they came out with a DLC. The DLC is named Whistleblower. So what happens is, and this is very cool, which again, you can really only do with a game that's very like cinematic and story driven. You are the whistleblower. So the guy who sends the information to the reporter who you play in the first game, you play as that guy, as the whistleblower. So essentially, and the way, and the emails and stuff that are sent to the reporter, he even says like I don't even know how much time I have left. Like I gotta get out of here. Like that sort of thing. So now you get to get the perspective of the whistleblower who's like an employee at this place
before it all truly fell apart.
So what happens is you actually see it's all happening simultaneously to the original game. So you see the reporter come.
Oh.
So like everything you do in the DLC is the same timeline as the reporter being on property. So like that is like very cool. So for example, I told you there's a church, right? And the priest is insane. He burns himself and like other people like in the church, and the whole church like erupts in flames.
Oh, wow.
And there's a part where you're running. I'm telling you, it's so cinematic. You're running from like other monsters or people who are trying to get you as the whistleblower, and you already know what has happened in the beginning, like part of the game, and you're running through this like hallway with like a ton of windows, and there's a music's playing, and you look over to your left and you see the church burning. Like there's like parts where you're like, I know exactly like where we are in the timeline. Yeah, and that happens like multiple times through the DLC. So that is very, very cool how they do that. I thought that was great. And then the second one, definitely not as good, but still cool. I think it's the classic. They're probably both like equally good. It's just the first one's the one that like hit the scene. Yeah. So like you think of that. But it's about, you're like out west of the United States, and it's about a cult, like deep in like the woods. And you're essentially, I think again, you're like a reporter, and you've been told that you need to shed light on this cult, and this cult's doing bad things out in the woods, and
same premise with a different...
Same premise, just different settings. So, like, there are scenes where you're running, like, in the woods. There's scenes where you're running, like, the cult has made, like, a little town. Like, you're in different buildings in this town. So it is very much inside-outside, which I think is very different than the first one, because the first one's, like, you were heavily inside. Mm-hmm. And this one, it's, like, it gives you that freaky, like, you're running from beasts in the woods, right? That sort of thing. Oof. So, and there's also like a supernatural aspect to the second one as well. And I'm pretty sure it ends with like the place gets nuked. or no, not nuked. It's like the fucking sun like hits the earth or something. Like it's something kind of crazy at the end.
Okay.
And, like essentially everybody fucking dies. Like it's just like, it's this very cinematic thing at the end where I'm pretty sure it's just the sun just like either exploding or getting closer. Jesus. And I also forget if that's almost like a
hallucination.
Yeah, because there are some times where you hallucinate. So I don't know, but it kind of ends with just
either way. It sounds like this franchise really does deliver like moments. Like there's like specific moments, even without like the full script in front of you. You can like very directly pull and picture.
Oh yeah, yeah. So this is a game, and the reason why I recommend it, and it's been out for so long, so it's going to be very cheap. It's very cheap to pick up, both the DLC, first game and second game. And I feel like it's a great introductory to horror. It's very simple, with just, because some horror games like Amnesia, it's like very like, there's like complex puzzles. And right. This is just like you and a camera, and you're just like experiencing all this. And it is perfect. I had, when I was in college in like 2015, I would have people on my floor in my dorm, at least 10 at a minimum. Like we would do this for multiple weeks. They would just watch me play the game, because it was like that, like immersive. Like, so I'd put it up. I had like a TV, and I had it's like speakers hooked up to the TV, and we'd all just pack in and turn the lights off at like midnight, and we would just play the game. Like, it was cool. It was like I was streaming, but just in real life to my friends down the hall. Like it was
streaming IRL.
Streaming IRL, the true IRL. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I and again, it's something where even if you have like, if you and your significant other want to play, or a friend or whatever, you maybe a roommate you live with, you can easily just take turns, like every hour, just pass the controller. You'll have just as much fun like watching if you've never seen the story before.
And with you pointing out that there aren't complex puzzles, I feel like it sounds like a good introduction to like horror gaming, because like I feel like that's maybe some of the barrier for me, is like the movies I'm realizing I maybe have some comfort with because I'm not controlling anything. I just have to sit and watch.
Yeah.
But like being POV, me walking through this disgusting hallway with creatures and goblins and ghouls going on, I definitely feel like there's like I don't know. On top of that, you want me to think, you know, like that's like, maybe a barrier for me.
They make it very bare bones amount of thinking because it just you need to get to like point A to point B. So like there's a moment where you need to in this one room. There's like 3 little small rooms that are connected to it, and those 3 rooms there are levers that you have to pull, and it's very easy. It's not like they're hidden. Like it tells you on the map, or like it shows you like there's gonna be levers here, and that'll open that door. But it's dark and there's a motherfucker with you, you know? So it's like, it's not hard at all. There's no thinking. You just say, okay, I need to get to that room. I need to get to that one. How the fuck am I going to do this without getting killed, you know? And then you're trying to like navigate that. And so yeah, it's good. So in the light of, you know, the spooky
Halloween
time, yeah, I had a great series. I have told many people about those games, and you might have even played them. They're very good. Yeah. And so that's my recommendation of the week.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll stream it. That's something that we've figured out for anybody who's listened. That, you know, we're still trying to figure out like licensing issues, and I thought stupidly that you could just put us on screen like overlapping a video, like a movie that we're watching that you can watch with us.
Yeah.
And we could just stream that. But I think there's licensing issues behind it.
Yeah.
So for now, we'll try to stick to video games and go from there. We're still kind of figuring out our streaming. Yeah. But I think that'd
be a good one.
That would be a good thing for us to sit down and stream. I think that'd be very cool. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I guess stay tuned for that. But do you have any recommendation of the week?
I do. One recommendation this week. And I can't remember if we've specifically talked about the plot of this movie. I kind of spiraled in it when I watched it. I think last year I loved this movie. Mm-hmm. But I Saw the TV Glow. It is... it's a horror movie, I would say, for sure.
TV Glow.
I Saw the TV Glow.
Oh, okay. So you're not saying like Derek saw the TV Glow. It is called I Saw the TV Glow.
I Saw the TV Glow. All right. Starring Justice Smith, definitely friend of the podcast. Was in the D&D movie as the sorcerer, Detective Pikachu.
Oh yeah, yep. Mm-hmm. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. He's like younger guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, starring him. And I'm going to give a little description of the movie, and then I will indicate when I'm dipping into spoilers, at which point, maybe if you don't want to hear it, skip to the last 5 minutes, but I feel like the spoilers, if anything, maybe you'd want to hear them just to get some
vouch for it.
Yeah. But Justice Smith plays Owen, who is a like high school student in the 90s. This movie's very aesthetically on, like really, really on.
When did it come out?
I want to say it came out 2 years ago.
Okay.
So
it's new.
Okay. A new movie. But he's a high school student and just feels like, and it's clear from the beginning, like he doesn't fit in. Something is not right. He has no friends. It's, has an abusive situation at home and just is not happy. And, is kind of like a quiet kid to himself. Until he meets a girl at school named Maddie, who's a couple years older than him. And together, they talk about this show that they're interested in at the time called The Pink Opaque. And he and Maddie, and I feel like it speaks a little bit to this podcast and speaks to just in general, like, when you're a fan of something, when you're a nerd, and you go through, and I mean, they are taping all the episodes on VHS tapes. They're writing in, they have like a book that they write like episode descriptions in, but they really bond over it. And you see glimpses of the show in the movie, but it's essentially like very Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Monster of the Week. It's about these two girls, the last names I'm going to give in this description, but their names are Isabel and Tara. And together, Isabel and Tara are the Pink Opaque, and they have a psychic connection that they use to defeat these villains of the week. So they bond over this. And I feel like it's hard to talk about anything else without getting into spoilers. So this may be, if you feel like there's, any reason you would want to avoid spoilers, skip to the end of the video or podcast. But at one point, Owen and Maddie are really connecting about the show. It's a different kind of connection. They feel purpose when they're with each other watching the show, and they get emotional watching the show. And Maddie at one point says, because she also has an abusive life at home, she tells Owen, I cannot stay home anymore. I'm running away. And I want you to come with me. I want us to do this together.
Adventure. And
Owen refuses. He says, I can't. It's too much. This is my lot in life, essentially. So I'm not gonna run away from it. And Maddie leaves, leaving only. And the same day she leaves town, her television is in her front yard on fire. Which is just a really funny visual that they give you. Time moves really fast in this movie, so we skip ahead like 8 years. He's working at like a movie theater, but he's at the grocery store, and he sees Maddie for the first time in 8 years, and she's standing like T-pose a little bit in this grocery store, and is moving very awkwardly. There's a really fantastic, vibe captured. But they reconnect, and Maddie starts to ask him. They go to a bar together. Phoebe Bridgers cameos in this movie, and is performing in this bar. But she asks Owen, how much do you remember of our childhood? Like, how much do you remember of like what was going on? To which Owen is like, and you get flashes of things, and him and Maddie, memories of their childhood interlaced with this show that they loved so much as children. Maddie reveals to him, the world feels wrong because we are the pink opaque. You are Isabel and I'm Tara, and we are currently trapped. We were buried underground, and we are in a pocket dimension that mimics this real world America in the 90s thing, but that's not real, and we need to escape and get back to the season finale. We need to escape. To which Owen is completely like, that's
like, she's gone crazy.
And so he asked her how she got out of the pocket dimension. How did she do it? And she said that when she left town, things didn't feel right for a while. But she, and I don't remember what exactly prompted her to do this, but she paid some guy to bury some stuff, like a refrigerator or a coffin or something like that, in the middle of the woods, and she put herself in there. And so she essentially just buried herself in the ground, stayed there for days, starved to death, scratched and clawed and pissed herself and all that. But then, like she said, and this is back in the day, she slowly started to zoom out and then woke up, and she was in the body of Maddie in the show as the pink opaque. And she was like, wait, I was able to escape. So she says to Owen, we have to kill ourselves. We have to...
She came back to get him.
I came back, I buried myself again to find you, because time moves slower in this pocket dimension. So like, where I was gone for 8 years for you, that was minutes for me out in the world. But you are... Owen also has like breathing issues. He has an inhaler you see through the movie. She's like, you have breathing issues because you are being suffocated. You are slowly dying out in the reality, So she tries to convince him to do this with her, and it sounds insane, but he feels... And this movie's directed by a trans woman, and there's an obvious kind of trans allegory to all of this, where Owen is not Owen at all. Owen is Isabel. But Owen is being stifled in this pocket dimension. And he has to, there's metaphors for you have to sacrifice your old life. If you're going to commit to living authentically and you're going to commit to all that, there's a lot of layers to this. Oh, yeah. But the tragedy of the movie, and I think why it really resonated with me and why it really stuck, is it is a movie like where you could totally see this turning into a kick-ass, we escape and we achieved the season finale, but Owen, stifled by the fear that comes with accepting who you truly are, refuses, and she leaves, and he never sees her again. And there's a moment at the end of the movie where, again, we're just spoiling, but I really think that even with this description, if you watch it, The vibe alone is so fantastically captured. But at the end of the movie, he's like 40. He's talking to the camera a little bit, and he says, "Yeah, I got married, and I have a wife and kids." You never see the wife and kids. It's like, because none of this is real, right? Like you're just going through the motions of life, and that's like what that is. But he works at like a Chuck E. Cheese kind of thing. He's like an older man, like he's wrinkled and gray. He still has the inhaler. The video games in this like fun center, like have words going across them that like you're running out of time, you know, like and you're catching more glimpses of the fact that this is a false reality.
It was 100% real then. Like it is like she wasn't crazy. It was a false reality.
It was a false reality, and he's in a room where they're singing "Happy Birthday" to a child, and there's all these like flashing lights and just it's sensory overload. But he starts looking around, and everyone's just like clapping mindlessly, and he like screams. And he's like, "Help!" And everybody is just staring at the floor like an NPC in dead silence. Like it's like true proof that you have been in a false reality. You had an opportunity to escape. You are currently suffocating to death in the Pinko Pig. It is just really, it's hard, and it's hard because you see this character given the opportunity to achieve their potential, to reach it. And say no, and implied.
And the friendship thing also is like not only just he's not by himself either. Like he has the other person there that he's supposed to trust and like
who he totally let down because he wasn't willing to take that step. And I've been saying he this whole time, but like again, this is a trans allegory, and like you know, as a character, Isabel was unwilling to take that step to accept like I really am a woman, and that's part of this false reality and what it was trying to stifle in me, you know? Like, he had a dad that was really, like, you're watching that... I mean, I don't think his dad said this, but his dad's like, you know, the vibe is you're watching that gay-ass show with your friend, you know? And, like, that like being used to dissuade him. But it's so real. It's so good. I highly recommend. It is horrifying, but, like, not in, like, a gory...
Like a psychological way.
It's just really, really stuck with me, so...
I think that's some of the scariest stuff. When you... hit the psychological like perfectly in a movie. I think that is like that's to me creepy. It's not scary. It's like I'm creeped out. You know that. It is a creepy film. That sounds good though. I feel like I would want to watch that.
Yeah, but yeah, that's my recommendation. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Like any final thoughts otherwise?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we got through a lot today.
We have more episodes for October, so maybe we can revisit. You know,
true. Yeah, maybe
something horror.
Something horror for the next couple. I guess next two episodes. Yeah, that would be fun.
But
see if anybody gives any of these a go. Maybe we can for the rest of October. Maybe try to stream
Outlast.
Stream ourselves playing that. I think you'd really like the cinema of it. I mean most people in general, but I feel like as somebody who has grown up with comics or is big into comics, because you didn't get into comics until like age, what was it like?
I was like 11.
Okay, all right, so yeah, I would say grow up then. But I don't know, I feel like you're a person who appreciate a good story. I feel like that is heavily why. I mean, even just watching you describe that movie storyline, that's what these games are. It really is just a story. Yeah. That you every once in a while get to have like a panic fucking like oh shit moment, but then it's like all right, let's get to the next part of the story. So yeah. I don't know. I think it'd be really good. But yeah, I guess we plan maybe try to post when we're gonna stream. Yeah. Stay tuned. Maybe we can use either the TikTok or what's it called, Twitter, to post an announcement. So. Yeah, this week we're gonna try to text more people, more friends. We wanted to get some episodes out first. Try to get people following and actually making some update posts. So keep people more informed, I guess. You know? Definitely. But yeah. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe. Definitely thoughts, especially if you've watched anything or played anything that we talked about today. Yes, if you please comment something. If you like it, if you feel like we didn't sum it up well enough, if you feel like there's anything we left out, you know, like I feel like we're open for feedback. So feel free to it's a safe space. Leave we we can be a little fun with like the, if someone thinks, one of us has a bad take or something like that, can be fun. But we're never going to be like mean about it. It'll.
You're saying that.
Unless you're an enemy of the pod.
Yeah.
Then we might be.
Unless you're Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, please interact in any way you feel comfortable. It'd be fun. So.
But yeah. Tune in next week. We'll be back next Monday for another episode. But
thanks for watching the Late Game Link podcast.
Yeah. See you next time.